just got comments back
Okay,
from the county, and I have a question about it.
all righty. There we go.
Okay, one of their comments was they wanted me to show this right of way on the inset all the way back to the subject property. So I've sketched it in there, but where I show right angles here, there's actually a curve. And I just want to put a little curve in there to make it look like it's supposed to look
Okay.
like. I don't want to actually compute a curve, the actual curve or anything.
All right, yeah, no problem. And so what I would recommend is well, let's see, is that, did you do that in?
Yeah, I just did it.
Let me come back to there and just make it easier to do this.
That's just in paper space.
Yeah, you say that is in paper space?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I think I'm in the viewport. There we go now. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so what I would do,
I guess I need to move it down more so it's on that yellow line.
yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grip edit a couple of things here.
Okay.
And I deleted that one vertex because I'm only going to really need this one here. Now, are you just going to do this as a single line, or are you going to do a double line?
Well, I was just going to do a single line, but I guess I could do a double line, but I don't.
Yeah, it's up to you entirely if you want to.
Well, that way that doesn't, if I do it as a double line, that doesn't give me something to come back to and say, show a double line. But I don't show a double line going out to the road from the bottom of this, and they didn't say anything about that.
All right, then we'll just leave it like this. And then that's okay, just to end it right there. You don't need to turn it in.
Well, I show that on my plat.
Okay, that's fine.
So I'm hoping that they'll.
Oh, I see. You've got this 50-foot right of way labeled here, so we'll show that here like it is. All right, so now what we have is just point to point to point. So we're going to need to put a curve right in here.
Right.
We'll fillet that curve, and we're just going to, do it by eyeball. So if I'll press escape to clear that out. And let's see, something else too. We might want to change its color. Let's make it specifically white, that 255, 255, 255, because when you say it's white, when you're in paper space, it switches to black.
Okay.
All right, so now we've got it white, and we'll go ahead and give it a little bit of line weight here too, a little bit heavier. And we'll see what that'll look good. All right, so now.
Okay, well, I guess if we're going to do that, let me move this a second. Maybe we ought to just go ahead and show the rest of it coming down.
Oh, okay. Coming across there.
Yeah, and move this up a little.
Okay.
Description there.
All right, so let me I'm gonna get that a little closer to the center there, and there we go. And we want to bring this guy down to there. And now what we got to do is we just simply need to add on that. I'll do a regen off. So we'll just add on this straight piece down to here.
Yeah, let me move this text.
Okay. What before you do that? Before you do that, yeah, press escape and undo because they were both still selected. You needed, we still had the line selected. So when you hit move, you moved both of them. So now try it again. Take your text and move it. And you can do it either with the grip or just, yeah, that way's fine too. There you go. All righty.
And just do applying,
Do a what?
applying,
Oh,
a,
line, yeah, okay.
yeah, polyline.
So if you do that and say, okay, now one of the options, if you say that is C to continue. If
Okay.
you type that and then click near that end, it should add that right onto it. So just click near that end. Doesn't have to snap to it, just nearest to that end. There you go. Now drag it down there and there you go. And hit enter to finish. And now it's, what it's done is it took on the characteristics of the properties of what it was before. So
Right.
of when you ran the command. So we'll put that back to that. It kept the width, that's fine. Okay. So now then, the only thing we need to do is to put this curve right here. I'll do a,
Well, there are actually 3 curves.
oh,
There's one.
wait a minute, let's see, REA. There we go. All right.
There's one up at the top here, and there's one here, and there's one here. Now this one, actually, I don't think it's a curve.
Okay.
I'll look at the plat here real quick.
All right. Well, yeah, let me just show you how you go about doing this.
Okay.
So, you know that trick I showed you before about when you have grips and you
Yes.
hover and convert to arc? Well, that would work if we had a little piece across there, which we don't have. We just got a single point. So, what this trick does is it converts this one long straight segment or whatever segment that you're over the middle grip on, and it converts that from a line into an arc or vice versa.
Right.
So what we would need to have done with our polyline is, let's just look at this one for right now, is we would have gone from this point up to, say, the PC and then gone straight across to the PT. And
I
then,
got you.
okay, and then turn that into an arc and bring it back. But since we don't have to, here's another way to do this as well. We're going to just do a simple fillet command, which is going to put that curve in between these two sections of this, of these two segments, okay? So that command should be under draw, but it's probably under edit, come to think about it. Let's see here. There it is, fillet. Okay, it's also over here on the far right toolbar,
Okay.
that little toolbar. And so if we choose fillet, now your settings down below. Polyline means if you type P, it's going to apply the radius, and you can see on the line above that right now it's set to be a 0.5 unit radius, which may or may not be the size we want. We don't know yet. And you change that with the R key, but the P, if you say P, it goes through and finds all of the angle points in the polyline and makes curves out of every one of those vertices. Now we don't want to do that because we've got this one down here that is.
Well, let's go ahead and do that one as a curve too.
Well,
if they complain about it, I'll fix it.
Well, I mean, you can do it either way, so it's no problem to leave it straight either way.
Okay.
So, but the first thing we need to do is we need to tell it the radius that we want to use. And so right now it has a value of 0.5. We see the line above, but we need to make it be whatever it is we want. So we're going to type the letter R. And I'll let you do this part. So type the letter R and hit enter. And now it wants you to give it a distance. Now, you don't know what that distance is, but you can show it. So you want to put your mouse, say, up somewhere near, in fact, let's go down here. And for right now, we're going to turn off. I'm going to double click down here in this status bar. I'm going to double click because I don't want it snapping right now. Okay.
Okay.
So now I want to sort of find out where I want the curve to start. So about on the PC, and then I'm going to click that point, and then I'm going to move the mouse to where I think the radius point would be and click it again. And that sets the radius. So I'll let you do that part now. It's asking for a distance, and you can either type a distance or show it with the mouse. And that's what you're doing now. So you're going to click and click there. That would be the radius once you click it. All right, so now you see it's 0.113485, which is fine. It's just graphical at this point. Okay. And so now, if you don't want to do all of the curves the same, its prompts are select the first entity, and you would click each of the tangents in turn, and that would take care of it. If you typed P, it goes through all of the segments and applies it the same to all of them. So either way you want to do it.
Let me try the P just for laughs.
Okay. And now I want you to select the polyline. And notice that has to be a 2D polyline.
I keep having a hard time. There it is.
Okay, so you see how it worked in the one we were looking at, but it's a little too big on the other ones maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can undo that if you'd like.
Undo again.
Yeah, undo till it goes back. There you go. Now run the command again. And the radius sticks from the last time you ran it. So it'll work. We're going to run, fill it. There you go. So the rate, oh, no, it said, oh, because you did an undo. Sorry. So now you're going to type R, and you're going to show it the radius you want at each one of those corners. Okay, so show it. So pick the PC and pick the radius point. Okay, now pick the tangent coming in, and then pick the tangent coming out after you pick that one. Okay, now the second entity, there you go. All right, now you just repeat the command, and you set your radius.
Hit the space bar.
Yeah, or the enter key, or the up arrow and enter, either one. Okay, now if you want that same radius, because that was a close to a 90, you could apply that on the next one. You can just leave it like that and just pick the first entity and then the second entity. Those are the tangents you're picking.
Okay.
So
with the mouse, sure, it's hard to see on that.
yeah, you're on that graphics. So there you go. And now run the command again. And this time you're going to change the radius. You're going to show it. Pick the, there you go. And now do an REA so you can see it a little better. Whoops, well, now, never mind. There you go. Now do an REA to regen all. And there you go.
Perfect.
All right.
Let me do a save and then get it into the drawing that's actually the subject of today's meeting.
Okay, now go back down and double click that snap in the status bar.
Snap in the status bar.
Over on the far right where, right, oh, you just passed it.
Oh, okay, down
Yeah.
here.
No, right there. Double click that to turn it back on. And the reason I turned it off was when you are picking this points to show it the radius, if you have your snap on and it goes to the end point, you're not going to be able to set the radius correctly.
Well, let me ask you a question, if what I did here is valid. They wanted to know the scale of this. That was one of their comments. And I don't really see what difference it makes. Nobody ever goes to scale something like that. They can
Right.
figure out where it is. But so what I did was I just measured how many inches it is across here and divided that into the total number of feet. And that's about what I came up with. It was actually like 1 inch to 1,490.
Yeah, no, that's perfectly fine. The other, another way you can do this, let me see. That is, you can actually see, because this is drawn over in model space, but is it drawn at scale in model space? I don't recall. I think it is. Maybe not. Maybe, oh gosh, maybe not. Let's see if let's look at it in model space. That is what, 200, 300 feet across.
400 feet, I think, exactly.
All right, so right in here, yeah, see, it's not the same scale, I don't think. If I look at that, I see it's got a scale of 1,000. So it depends on, yeah, of course, we took it as, 1,000 scale to get this to the size we sort of wanted. But that's, what is this distance across here?
400 feet, I think.
Yeah, but I
Oh,
mean,
you mean in inches? I don't remember. It was 0.2 something, I think.
yeah, 65, 66 or so across there. That's in real size. So what I was checking on, and it's not going to work for us here, is if this were in at true ground scale. In other words, if we had brought that image in and say underlaid it right here and scaled the image so that it lined up on our image points
Yeah,
over here, then that would be an exact ground distance on that. And then we could go back to here and we could select this viewport and see what its scale is down here and come up with that number. But your way is really the better way to do it, especially because when we put this into model space, we put it in simply to be able to fit up here, graphically. It's not tied
right.
true. So you did a measure, came up with the nearest, and that will be fine. That'll be absolutely fine.
Okay, let me save this.
Right.
And close it. And then open this one. Okay, I have a layer frozen here. I need to unfreeze. What I was doing, I was using the deed correlation command. And I don't know what I did.
Okay.
Or what I didn't do. Let's see, what did I call that? It's called lots. Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know how I did it, but if I did an inverse of 0.209, which is up at the top there,
Okay.
it actually goes to where it was moved to, but it's still showing graphically. It's showing it didn't move the entities.
Okay. So what happens when you're doing this, when you're doing the deed correlation command?
Yeah.
That I'll show you where it is. I'll cancel it, but when you do deed correlation, let's see if we got something here. All right, so now if we say find minimum, and then if we say apply the alignment, now I'm not going to do it, but if I do all this, when it says down here, align screen entities, that
Yeah.
means it's going to take the drawn elements and move them also. If you don't say that, it's only going to move the points. Okay, so that's has to be on. Looks like it was. Okay, so then now I canceled it, but then when it prompts you, it says select things on this on the drawing to move, and then it'll say exclusive of points. So you don't want to move the points. The points are already going to be moved. You only want to go through and select the line work and symbols and such that you want to move. Or
I did. And it didn't move them. Or maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I think I did it and I didn't do it.
okay, or
But how can I fix it now?
all right, well, that's what we got to do is figure out where we're, so 0.209, if I double click 209, see, it says it's different. 209 differs from where it is in the coordinate file. All right, so that's, whoops, let me cancel that. This one is point number 4, and apparently it's where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, with the 209 coordinate is also there at 4, which is where it's supposed to be. That's the point I rotated to.
Okay, I got you. So if I double click 209 and it says, oh, they're different, which one do you want to edit? Well, you say it's on the screen would be over here.
Yeah,
The file would be up here.
okay. So I want to edit the screen.
No, it says choose the coordinate to edit. You want to bring up the file coordinates.
Okay,
So we choose that. And now we have to do a little something here. We have to make a slight change. So I'm just going to put a 1 right here. And I have to make a change so that when I hit OK, it's going to change it. It's going to relocate it. So I
okay.
say, okay. Now 209 jumped up there, and I'm going to edit it one more time and take, well, it looks like it took the 1 out anyway. So that'll be good. All right.
Oh, wow.
So 209 moved up there. So that's fine. Now we'll fix this line work in a minute. And there's something else. When you look at your settings under Carlson Configure, under General, if you say link line work with points, then if you had drawn that line and told it to draw between 209 and 210, and then 209 moves, the line would move with it. But because it wasn't linked, you're going to have to move it manually. Okay.
Okay.
So you may want to consider turning that on in the future so you'll be able to do this again, and have it automatically move. All right, so we moved 209. What else do we need to move? 210?
Yeah. We really need to move all of them.
All right, so let's just go through here and find them. So 210, we're going to go to the file. And let me see if just hitting OK. Yeah, so that put 210 up here. All right.
Okay.
And what about 11? That goes
Yes.
here, right? All right, so I'll double click that, and it thinks it's where it's supposed to be. See, it's not coming up with a difference.
Huh.
Let's try 206. Go to file, say, okay. All right, so 211. Now, here's something I want to double check. If I say, was this the deed correlation that you did use?
Yeah.
All right, so let's make sure 211. So we're saying deed goes to survey. See, 211 is not in there.
No, but when you do the,
When you apply the alignment,
yeah, it asks you which points you want to do, and I did all the 200
oh,
points.
oh, I see. Yeah, that should have, if you did all of them. Let's try these. See, it thinks that one's okay. It thinks that one's okay. All right, so when you did that, let's see.
Let's try 216 just for laughs.
Let me take a look at something here.
Okay.
If I and then apply alignment. So up here, is this,
Yeah,
did you change that to say all the 200s?
I did.
Huh,
I
that
put,
should,
I put in like 200 hyphen 250 to make sure I'd get all of them.
that should have done that. Unless, no, see, that still should have done that. See, that is the same as if you're doing a simple align command and you pick the point and that lets you pick these points. So that
Right.
should have brought those up. All right, so now, well, here's one thing we can do up front. If we have a bunch of these that might be in different places, let's just go and do them all together and move the ones that it knows are different. So if I go to points, my coordinate file utilities, let's update the drawing from the coordinate file. And range of points to update. Let's just say all. All right, so now it moved all the ones that it knew to move. So 211 did not, 1817 did not, looks like 16 did. I think that's 216, is that? Yep, 216. But now this 214, 212, 213 looks like it did as well. What's this one? Point number 5. Now, which one's this? Oh, set.
That was the nail I set.
I didn't notice that 6 there. That is a separate point. I just thought, all right, so 213 moved to 5. This one moved. Now, notice it doesn't move exactly to where the point is because it applied that rotation,
Right.
but kept those, and that's what you want.
Yeah.
So there's 206. Is there proper point or is it?
Yes.
Because this point number 2 looks like that's where this line. Oh, nope. See, it's this line is slightly off center of this point.
Right.
It should be in the center of this point. All right, so that part was good. All right, so we just need to figure out which ones we need to update. I don't know about this out here.
I don't really need that point for what I'm doing.
Now, if all of them were supposed to have moved, by that alignment, all right, here's what I think we can do. Let's say, all right, where's one? We know 211, right? It was not in that group. So if we run our command again, and now this alignment that you applied, was it from this find minimum?
Yes.
Okay, so find minimum alignment. And now if we're going to apply that, now what we should be able to do is up here. All right, so, well, first of all, let's see. The alignment we are applying is we're saying from 209 to 4
Right.
and 208 to 11. Let me think a minute here. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. See, 209 and 4 are the exact same coordinates.
Yes.
208 and 11 are not. I was hoping I could just reapply it to just specific individual points. The problem is 209's already been transformed. So, all right, let's put a thinking cap on here a minute. If we go back, I wonder if you've got your point history on. Yes, okay. All right. So it looks like you've done a distance interception for 219, deleted 219. I want to go back. I want to find where these points were. See, I don't want to undo that because that will get rid of where you created it.
Well, you know what? I really don't need I guess I don't really need the drawing anymore. It would have been nice to have had it, but
Well, but I think if we can set this back, we find where this happened. We brought the point file in here, okay? Then you did some edits, 1 to 5,000. Now enter the deed descriptions up through 205. You brought in some more points, drew locate up through 211. Then you set 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And then you deleted 17. You're in the traverse command to set 5,002 and 3. Did some edit. Oh, right here, align points. I'm sorry, that's what I was looking for. 206 to 216. That was yesterday. All right, so if I undo through that, that should put everything back to pre-alignment. And then we'll close that. Now, all right, so that puts 209, 210, 211, 206 through now. Up here, we've got 208. All right, so now we should be able to run that command again from the deed correlation. Sorry. And let's review everything here. We've got survey point 2 to 206. You look these over and make sure they're what you think they should be.
yeah.
Okay. And so if you say, find that minimum alignment, and then if we apply the alignment, now 9 and 2 and 4 are different. So that's what I was looking for. And now up here is we're going to want, oh, where did I go?
Where did what go?
I lost that dialog box.
It, oh, okay, wait a minute, one over on the other screen. Let me bring it back.
Yeah, sorry about that. I held a key down when I shouldn't have. All right, now, so just clear it out, make sure it's all the way. So if I say 200 through, what was it, 299, that'll do it?
Yeah. Mhm.
All right. So if I say that, align screen entities, that should work. And now it says select the objects to align, points excluded. So I want to align these white lines. What about these in the middle here?
No, those are fence lines. They,
Same thing, this one out here, that's your controlled line or something.
yeah.
All right, so now that should take care of that. Yep,
And it looks like it did.
okay. Now your 219, remember, that was one of the commands that was done afterward that you, I guess, used to check with.
Yes, that's
So,
okay. I'm good. I don't need
Yeah.
that.
all right. Okay, so now everything's copacetic.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Boy, that's a good thing you had the point history on that. That helped us out greatly. And then that brought everything along for the ride.
Yep.
Okay.
Where was that point history
Oh,
command
go under
again?
the points menu. There's 2 places. All the way down to the bottom where it says point utilities. And then over there, it's all the way at the bottom. That's one place to go straight to point history, but I did it from up at the top where it says coordinate file utilities. Go back to points and come down the neck right there. Okay. And then when that comes up, what that is when you run that command, you have access to all of those commands under that utilities pull right menu.
Okay.
And this one is in the lower right-hand corner. There you go.
Okay.
And just keep in mind, when you do that, when you choose a command to undo through, it undoes, like if I were to choose, I didn't want to delete 218. So I would select this and I say, I want to, but if I say undo through that command, it has to undo all of these. It can't just undo that one command. It comes up here and just rolls it back. So anything up here that you need to keep, you have to redo.
Okay.
All right.
So that's a command that has to be used sparingly and
Oh,
carefully.
yeah. Yeah. And it's just to recover from a goof,
Right.
All righty.
Hey, while you're here,
Okay.
while I've got you, you want to help me bring this into the survey plat?
Sure.
So let's see, I click on this.
Yep.
I don't double click though, I just click once.
Yeah. You select it because you have to unlock it.
Okay.
Are you there? Keep going down. It says display locked.
Oh, okay.
There you go. You can also double click the padlock on the status bar. That would do it as well. Okay, so now it's
Okay.
unlocked. All right.
And double click in it.
Now double click in it so that you're actually into the model. And now you want to center everything up. So just double click the wheel on the mouse so that it zooms extents. There you go. And now roll into it with the mouse, to zoom it up a little bit, get it to the size that you think you're going to need. And remember, even if it's off the edges, you can always go back outside and adjust the overall size of the viewport. So
Right.
So let's see what this is going to do, if that looks like it's going to be good enough.
Yeah.
Double click back outside of it. Select the viewport again and go back and look at its scale, whatever it tells you that the scale is. And it has a scale of 0.016. So if we make that 0.02, that's what, 1 to 50?
Yeah.
So let's change that standard.
Custom scale.
Yeah, just
Standard scale.
pull that down and choose 1 inch equals 50 feet. And you could, yeah, it's either down below, or you might go back and get the, yeah, there you go, right there. And you'll see it change a little bit. So you must have missed it. It still says custom. Okay. What's going on? Yeah, I just watched you do it. Let's see.
That's annotation scale. I didn't do it there.
Well, still, you should have done it here. See if I say 1 inch equals 40. And then it shows as 1:50, which it shouldn't. It should say 1 inch equals 50, but still, that's fine. So that, and that are all the same thing. It's 1 to 50.
I don't think that it, but look where it is on the drawing. It's
Well, that may have been too much to have done. So we could do a couple of things. We could, raise this up a little.
okay.
Let's double click inside it. Whoops. And then double click back outside. And just stretch that up a skosh. And this down a bit. So, you can rearrange this. Now notice like that bar scale and stuff, it's drawn in paper space. It looks like it's inside there. It's not, it's just floating on top. Now
Right.
notice also here too.
Yeah.
Don't, what on earth? Why does it do that? All right, let me, this block called PS stamp.
Sure.
There you go. And now I'll just, whoops, damn it. I always do that. In regular AutoCAD, when you do that, you can just press escape, because you notice when you choose this and say I'm ready to place it, you notice
Yeah.
it went ahead and redefined it. And
Right.
regular AutoCAD, if you press escape, that'll take care of it. We have to actually click it down and then select it and delete it, the new one.
Right.
All right. So, all right, so that should be about right now. If I look at this, I go back over here, double check my scale, make sure I didn't accidentally, zoom in or out. That looks good. And if it's where you want it to be,
Actually, I'd like to move the bottom of the viewport down some.
you need more room on the
Yeah.
viewport. Okay, so go ahead and select it. And grab the corner and just move it to where you think you'll need it. Okay, now, once you get that in, let's say, and you get it like you like it, at this point, you're going to lock it. So you go back to that properties and say display locked, yes. And you do that with the viewport selected, like you see the grips on the viewport, not when you're double clicked inside it.
Right.
I'll go ahead and say yes. And so now when you double click inside it, for instance, oops.
Escape. Yeah.
So now when you're inside it and you press, it does the whole sheet because the viewport's locked. Okay. Now,
Right.
let's suppose that we had, I'm just going to draw a dummy line down here. Let's say you had something, down here that was part of your survey. You wanted to show that. Well, you don't have to try to change the scale or move this kind of stuff here. You can actually, if you go back out, double click outside, select the viewport and grab that middle point.
Yeah.
Move that whole viewport slightly away, to get it off of something here if you need to do that.
Okay.
Once it's locked, you're going to move the viewport. You don't have to double click inside and reposition where you're looking. It's just, you're setting with the viewport, where you're setting the position and the scale and all that kind of stuff. And then once that's done, if you need to, you can reposition the entire viewport and it takes everything as a unit and just repositions it on the screen. Okay.
Okay.
So that's it. And also keep in mind, if you had something over here that you didn't necessarily want to show, that's when you do something like this, you'll tighten it up. If I can get the grip. You may close it up like this to trim something off.
Right.
Okay, so you want to sort of, keep it to as tight as you can to where it still shows you everything you need, and then reposition the viewport if you need to miss things out here. Or sometimes you do have to go out and change where this stuff sits, but you know how to do all that.
Right.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
You bet. Is that all you need?
Yes, sir.
Okie doke. I will send you a video link and we'll go from there.
Okay. Thank you.
You bet. Take care now.
Bye.